Yeah, this has some highlights. Leave meeting. Should I say leave meeting? No, I'll say got it. Tell me when I'm good here.
And then I'll send this share your Zoom.
I can't tell you how humiliating that is for me. I have to have someone run all the tech for me. But I appreciate Jacob. Jacob Spears, one of our fantastic Basecamp leaders in charge of all of our swag, and he's going to be talking to us a little later. Let me give you the heads up on what we're going to do tonight. I'm going to run through first, after I give the intro here, we're going to have Soren Newman, who is from the Oakland First Ward, correct? Talk to us about his experience last year with Basecamp. And then I'm going to run through some of the different trips that we have planned for this coming summer. Jacob's going to go over all the swag and calendar and registration and costs and those types of things. Justin Johnson, who's in charge of Basecamp, is going to answer some questions that y'all might have, and then we'll close it up with prayer and get some treats. That sounds like a good evening to me. So, Soren, I'm going to turn the time over to you, if that's all right. I'll help you with all the technology here.
Hello. I wanted to just talk about the three main things, or the three aspects of Basecamp that I thought of last year, which were some spiritual, physical, and social. I'll start off with social. For those of you who haven't gone, it's great. You'll meet a lot of new people, make some friends, especially if you're like me, where there's only 2 other people in your ward that went to Basecamp that year. Yeah, for those of you who have gone, really needed those. It's a blast. For the physical part, there's hiking, really great. Improving camping skills, and just an exercise of overall mental toughness. On our first day at Basecamp, we got to the campsite at 9:30 at night. It was pitch black, and we hiked for that was about an hour in just complete darkness with bugs all around your face while you're wearing a headlamp. Some other examples are just altitude. It's high, hard to breathe, lots of blisters, soreness, and extreme elevation change. On the first day of our base camp last year, we went down 4,000 feet. And of course, a lack of water, almost always. Now, the most important part, and what I really want to emphasize is the spiritual part of base camp. Nature is a really great place to get out and really experience something different, especially in remote areas. And I was in the Tuolumne River group last year, and it's really great, secluded canyon running through Yosemite. And during our rest day, where we didn't hike at all, we had some time to think and reflect about spiritual things. And I got to, by myself, climb up a mountain to look over the whole canyon. And it was a really great and humbling experience for me to see God's creations on earth and to see the beauty of it. And it just made me realize how much nature is a temple. And just thinking about what I was saying today, I just thought about Joseph Smith and how when he had his vision, he was by himself in nature. So, yeah. And then, of course, the last thing is just lessons by leaders every night. I had President Raines give a great talk. Had all the leaders, Dave, too. Yeah, and many more people, including Bishop Abdullah Parkinson, just give spiritual lessons that were great. Overall, base camp, it's a great experience. Sadly, it's only 1 week long. I don't know if you guys want to spend more than 1 week away camping, but yeah, it's just great, really fun. You get to socialize, hike, and It can be whatever you want it to be. And I leave that with you in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
That's great, Soren. Thanks a lot. I love the two things you said that really struck out for me, or stuck out to me, is saying one is that it can be whatever you want it to be. And that's true. So many things in life. And what a great experience backpacking is to teach us that. And the other thing that stuck out to me is your noting that Joseph Smith went into this grove, and we're teaching the Old Testament this year, learning that as a church, of course. And there's so many things that happen out in the wilderness. Well, that's one of the great things about being in the backcountry. And if you were to identify all the states in the United States, I can't think of a better state for getting in the backcountry than California. You guys are all really, really fortunate and blessed. Professor Keller there lived in another state, or I did it, and he's like, yes, California is really a beautiful and exceptional spot. We really want to take advantage of that. And so what we've done with Base Camp is we've tried to identify the 5 or 6 best backpacking experiences that we know of. We've tapped into the history and legacy of backpacking in the state and in the Moraga Ward in particular, and tried to find out where are the great spots, where are you going to have just a real stellar experience year after year. And we're trying to get that knowledge built up in the leaders and knowledge built up in you as young men. So with that, let me run you through the trips that we have outlined. So this map I have behind me there is showing you nothing. Let me fix that. So it is showing you, can I do a slideshow? Yes. Let's do that there. Yeah, okay, so this is showing you the map of California. And anybody know what that body of water is there? I'll be surprised if anybody knows what it is. Is that red? What do you got? Yes, Mono Lake, Lewis, way to go. Mono Lake, a lake with a little island in the middle of it. It's a water sanctuary for California. And it's on the Eastern Sierras. Just north of that is Lake Tahoe that you can't see. But all these routes here, this red one here at top is one of our routes that's in a place called the Sonora Pass in Levitt Meadow. This next one over here is this place called Immigrant Wilderness. This one down here is called Yosemite. So we're in the Tuolumne River. Below that are these areas in Antillatans. And we might do this trip down here in the lower part of the map, which is the Ray Lakes Loop in Sequoia National Park or Kings Canyon National Park. So let me go through the 5 trips that we have, and then you kind of process them and think to yourself how fun these are. Ask me some questions. The first one is Fremont Lake. Who went on the Fremont Lake trip last year? Who went on that one? All right. Got Gary's hand up there. So this is a trip that can be lots and lots of things. It's got some great fishing and hiking, beautiful stars at night. There's hot springs. There's an old ghost town called Bodie that we might be able to hit this year, or maybe not, but there's some options up there. Beautiful trip. That's kind of for the younger group because it's a little bit shorter hike. Our next group up, we have this optional trip that we're looking at, which is into Immigrant Wilderness. This is the Buck Lakes region. Buck Lakes is a great fishing area. I think Bishop Logan remembers jumping off a cliff there with some young men, probably about a 20-25 foot water drop into a nice lake there. Depending on when you go, it's just wonderful fishing and hiking. We're thinking about if we do that trip this year, we might throw in a horse ride for the first day to get us back there 12 miles. That'd be a great trip. Banner Peak, where's Beckham? Beckham, tell me about it. Give me 5 words. I only get 4. Yeah, it can't be my words. All right. Crappy first day. Okay. All right, Becca, we're gonna meet after. You're not hitting me up on the words yet. Okay, Banner Peak. Bishop Logan, give me 5 words on Banner Peak. Spectacular view. This reception. Yep. Spectacular with sail reception, was that it? Okay.
Amazing fishing.
Yep. One more.
Islands.
Islands, yes. This is one of my all-time favorite. This is going to be had again by I'm not sure if it's the 14-year-olds, Justin. Am I wrong on that? Is that the
older group, 16-year-olds going to do Band of Peace this year.
Okay, so this is wrong. It's not 14. That's a 16-year-old group, and that's your group, right? That's going to do that. So this is scoutings are already occurring on routes, and we have all the rescue people arranged. Okay, Grand Canyon of the Tuolumne. Who went on this? Who's been on this trip? I know a lot of people have done this trip. Yeah, right. Give me 5 words on Grand Canyon of the Tuolumne. Better than Beckham's words. Two words. Give me 2 words. Very good. Very is a modifier. It's got to be. I need one more. Water slides are super awesome. There we go. So pictured in the back here, this is a great water slide there, and again, amazing fishing. You saw that big fish that Samuel's brother pulled out of the river. I think it was modified with some camera angles to make it look bigger than it really was. This place is one of my favorite places. Also, rattlesnakes are there, which is a real highlight, and bear. And then this last one here is the Ray Lake Sloop that we will have one group look at. Yeah, 160. Yeah, this is for the older people. Fishing. That's what that trip. On that trip with my kids in one evening, we caught 150 fish. Hands out. We lost count after a while. So many, but I counted 150. So just a great trip. Let's see if I can get this here playing for you. Here's what I gotta do? Mute this baby? Yeah. I have a few more things I'm going to say, but I'm going to pass it off right now to Brother Spears to go over just. Oh no, am I doing gear? I'll do gear. All right. I've been handed gear to discuss. So gear is basically pretty straightforward. Get the right gear. I'm going to put up our website here. Is that showing? I'm being helped again. So we have this phenomenal website that Jacob put together. And on the website, since last year we were not in person, we actually made a series of videos to show you how to kind of prepare for the trip. So if you go to ymbasecamp.com, it's a great website. I'm really happy with it. So go up here to what to pack, click that. And what to pack, pack right, pack light. Go down here is a nice list. Last year we left off toilet paper. We've fixed that. Toilet paper is now on the list. And all this, actually a great list just for looking at, even if you're not going with us and you want a good list. We've kind of refereed this. And then at the bottom, there's about 5 or 6 videos that we made last year. Gear introduction, what to wear, water supply, what to put in your backpack, extra gear, fishing pole, worth considering, and then putting it all in your pack and how to pack the pack so that it's weighted properly. So I'm not going to go into specific gear, but I do want to point out that the gear is important to start putting your fingers on and gathering. And So work on it. And if you have questions, we're committed to helping everyone get the right gear, but you can borrow gear, beg, borrow, not steal. And we actually have a series of gear resources available to us for any of you that need things. So let me turn the time over now to Brother Spears, who's going to talk about a little bit more on the website and go over the registration and our cost structure and the great swag we have.
All right, thanks for bearing with us on all these technical challenges. But yeah, so the website's a great resource. I'm going to just walk you through the resources that are there. So when you're back at home, you know what's available and where to find some answers to the questions you might have. So just going here to the home page, might be a little small up here on the projector, but the main thing here that you can see is the registration button. So we're asking that the registration deadline is April 16th if you want to participate in Basecamp. Just click on this register now button and it will walk you through all of the information that we need. I'll just show you real quick. So the kind of information we're looking for, obviously your contact information, parent guardian information. We're going to ask you about your swimming level, some medical insurance information, all that kind of stuff. There's some policies that you'll need to go over and agree on. I'll just click on this policies button up in the top just to show a couple of highlights. One of them is COVID. So one of the questions I'm sure everyone's asking is what's the COVID policy? So I'll just mention that currently we're at all of the adults that will be participating will be vaccinated. And currently our policy is that any youth that want to participate need to be vaccinated as well. However, if there is a situation that you want to have special consideration, please reach out to us and talk to us about that. But, you know, as all things COVID, any of this is subject to change. And of course, we'll communicate any of those changes if they come up. But yeah, I encourage you to go through here and read about the rest of the policies, the dress code, participation policy. You know, obviously there's a phone policy, which is no phones. Actually, you can bring them to take pictures, but yeah, just read a little bit more of that information. All right. So another thing that I'll highlight here is up in the top, there's a schedule page. And what we've done is similar to last year, if you participated, is we've scheduled out a bunch of practice hikes and other activities to help you become more prepared for your trip. Some of these trips are very long. They're going to be tough climbs, tough hikes, and we want you to enjoy those experiences. We don't want you to go out there and suffer. And so really the best way to enjoy that is to be prepared physically. So we have a couple of practice hikes that we've put on here. The first one is coming up in a couple of weeks on Saturday, April 2nd. The location is to be determined, but it's just going to be somewhere similar to last year, somewhere in the Bay Area close by. And we'll coordinate with all of the wards and make sure everybody that wants to can get rides. Of course, these are not required, but we highly, highly encourage you to do these. And as a matter of fact, I don't even think as a team we're convinced that if you only do these 4 practice hikes that you'll be in the best shape you can be. You might need to do other physical activities just to make sure that you're in shape. I'll highlight on May 21st, there is a swim evaluation. Some of these trips have swimming opportunities, as you've seen. If you want to participate in the swimming, then we need to be confident that you're comfortable swimming. And so we're going to have a swim evaluation where you can get checked off and so you can participate in those. All the way in July, we're going to have a food distribution and a pack check day just before we go. And of course, the trips will start launching somewhere around July 11th. The start date may slide 1 or 2 days depending on which trip you're on. Are there any questions about the schedule before I move on? Yes. That's a good point. I think we forgot about that, unfortunately. Okay, thank you for pointing that out, and we will change that and get back to you. Good point. All right, any other questions about the schedule? All right. Okay, another thing that I just wanted to highlight real quick. One of the things that we did last year and the year previous that was a lot of fun was swag. So if you participate in these practice hikes, if you come to the practice hikes or you come to the swim evaluation, you're going to collect a piece of swag. And so that's one of the ways that we're encouraging you to come. Let's see, this picture is not showing up the way I'd expect it to. This picture is supposed to show you the swag, but do you have a slide of that?
Yeah, that's weird. Afraid to start making pictures here.
Yeah. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Sorry. All right, well, so if you go to the website, you'll see the swag that we have, but you get a little teaser here. One of them is going to be a new t-shirt again. Last year we did water bottles. We're going to do that again. We have some new day packs that we're going to be giving out to everybody. And a couple of other pretty cool items. So yeah, we encourage you to come to these practice hikes so that you could get those. As far as the cost goes, when you walk through the RSVP, the registration process, we're asking that every boy that attends pays $75. And the way you could do that is by using an envelope that you use for tithing or fast offerings, but instead you can use the other field and just put Oakland Young Men Base Camp. So that's $75 and you just pay that. You don't have to pay that when you're registering online. You just do that when you get the chance to in your wards. We do have scholarships. So if you want to participate and you can't cover that cost, that's not a problem. Just contact us and we can help you out with that. I think that's all I was planning on talking about. Did I miss anything, Andy? Yeah. Okay, so with that, I think we can just open up to general questions and see if we can get you some answers.
So here's the panel.
Yeah, so just, that was Andy and Jacob, thanks so much. So President Torres, I'd like to recognize your presence here at our meeting, and is there anything that you may want to add, or that, how are we doing so far? Wow, that would be so fantastic. We would love that. Ben, on your end from Stake Young Men's, how are we doing? Fantastic. Well, if you can't tell, Andy is he's the backpacker extraordinaire that's really making all this happen. He has all the institutional knowledge, but we do have a team that we work and try to support the program. So just like to recognize some of the team members. Obviously, Jacob is great with the website, the technology. Greg was an adult leader last year. Greg Collin is on the team as well. Dave Ritzman is on our team, and Taylor Shumway is on our team. Who also I'm missing? We have, in terms of adult leaders, Gary Middlemiss was a leader last year. He led the Fremont Lake trip and is going to be a leader again this year. Robbie Christensen is in front of him. We're hoping is also going to be an adult leader on a trip, and Harley as well, right, Harley? So, and Nate's going to be an adult leader. So who am I missing? Did I miss anybody? But that's what really makes us go. I personally feel these trips are just huge life-changing events. Physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. We didn't really hit on the spiritual aspect of the program, but there is one, and that's a big important part of what it is. So now's the time for questions. Fire away, and Andy will address.
So the question is, how many days are the trips? So all the trips have a Monday departure date scheduled, and we've blocked out through Saturday as the return. However, if for instance, the Fremont Lake trip, which is a shorter trip for younger kids, we're going to basically be looking to see how the registration comes out in the next week or two to kind of make some finalized plans about the return date. But it is possible that some of the younger groups might go up Monday and come back on, certainly Friday. But I don't think we'll be having any trips come back on, Monday through Wednesday, for example. I think it's certainly the older groups are the full 5 to 6 days. Yeah. Yeah.
If you're like 13, are you allowed to like go on the 12-year-old trip?
So it's a great question. So our goal is to make everyone just super happy with the experience this summer. We want everyone to have just a great time. And and so we want everyone to go and have fun. One of the limits we have, and you guys may not know this, but we can't have more than 15 people. And so if we have 15 people, that usually means there's 3 adults. So now we're down to 12 young men. And so it just may work out that some of these, our desired groupings for age may not quite work out the way that, they'd ideally work out. So we're going to try to make it ever so everybody's with their kind of age group that they're comfortable with. Part of the idea of BASE, the BASE, I think the E stands for expand.
Yeah.
And, it's really fun to go backpacking with your buddies. But one of my favorite things about last year, and Lewis and Samuel, maybe you guys can, I don't know, how was it for you guys being on a trip that had, 2/3 of the group were kids you never met before? Tell me about that.
I really liked it because it gave me a chance to if I wanted to talk to someone I knew I could do that. I could talk to them, or I could go and meet all these other people and become friends with a bunch of people. So it was keeping me out of my comfort zone, but not completely. Yeah.
That's a really good way to describe
I
it.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam, any other thought you ditto? That's what I thought. Yeah. So does that answer your question? We'll try to make it so you're with your age group is ideal, but if there's a particular reason that you want to up 1 year or down 1 year, we can make that type of allowance. But we're really trying to create friendships across the state so that you have some friends from different wards, and different wards can make friends with you. And that's sometimes that's the best way to do that. But we're definitely gonna be looking at that carefully. Go ahead.
For more leaders. And
Yes.
So what is the youngest?
Repeat the question.
11. We're looking for more leaders. Yes, we would love to have more leaders. The age requirement for being a leader should be at least 18. And there is some certification that has to be accomplished through the stake. It's not rigorous. So that's.
Do you have somebody in mind, Elle, or?
Jordan wants to go and Connor does want to go. He just needs to figure out a schedule. They both want to go.
Well, Connor was a leader last year. We'd love to have him back. He knows the drill.
Jordan and Connor is really awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the things we're trying to do that's just a touch different from the girls' camp is that the girls' camp model doesn't have activities for the senior girls once they graduate. And we really want to weigh in heavily and say, hey, we want you involved with this, with the backpacking and with the base camp. Senior year, you graduate, come on back. That's the year we need you for leadership and guidance. And really would love to have
Yeah,
that.
we would welcome that.
Yeah. Another question over here. I saw a hand go. Yeah.
Yeah, if we have a swimming related merit badge for Boy Scouts, do we need to take the swim test?
There's always a question like that.
Do you have the merit badge, Lauren?
I'm an Eagle Scout.
Oh, wow.
That doesn't mean anything.
Then you definitely got to come. You got to come.
Yeah,
do it.
we need to see you swimming. We know that works. I think the answer on that is the swimming test is super easy. It's going to be a Saturday morning at a backyard pool, swim a couple laps just so we know you can make it in, and we'll have some hamburgers and hand us some swag. So if you can pull it off, great. If you can't, there's other ways to certify other than, it would just mean that on the first day of the trip or on some day prior, we'd want to, I just want to make sure we see everyone swim before we throw you in the river.
I got videos of Soren surfing 8-foot waves in Santa Cruz.
He can give the instruction. We
Send
still
the
want him
video.
there.
Send the video to Justin and then you're approved. Other questions? But
So are the adults like trained in first aid or medical type stuff? What kind of stuff do you guys have at home?
right, so great question. Go ahead.
No.
Oh, yes. So we have a satellite beacon on all the trips. And of course, we used it last year. So we've tested it and it works. So that's important. And I'm a physician. So on our trip, we have a physician.
Yeah.
We may have other physicians. We
need physicians. Physicians are welcome on our trips.
Yeah, physicians are welcome. But, and then in addition, I think,
There's a training.
Greg, you were doing
Dave, I think
Dave, you were
was-
doing a training, right?
Yeah, we've got a wilderness first aid class that our leaders will have on the trip.
Yep.
And I'm signed up for it too, Dave. And it's a great, looks like a great wilderness first aid program. So we're trying to get the leaders to do that program as much as we can. We'd also like to have a physician on each trip if we can. So.
Does that answer your question? So, we're not, the best medical care in the wilderness is preventing an injury and being prepared. And almost without exception, I'd say 90% of the health problems are the adults. It's just the way it is, right?
So true.
They come on, they're out of shape, think they can pop out 40 miles with these young kids, and then we have them on the side of the road, hyperventilating. So that's really and so we really are emphasizing the prep hikes for everybody. And we have a training schedule we're going to make available on our website.
Yeah, we should really, because even beyond the practice hikes, you really should be doing a little bit more than that. So we're going to put something on the website on that, because it's really important to be in shape, especially the adult leaders too. So.
But we've thought lots. I mean, the worst things to happen are, fall, some type of an infection. Those are things we worry about that you would need to be evacuated for. So, but the day-to-day things we're all trained in those blisters and, heat exhaustion, altitude sickness, dehydration, those types of things.
List goes on.
Yeah. I have a big blister going on. So. And any further question on that? That's yeah.
Good question.
And I'd also say that one of the goals with Basecamp is to, again, I'll just reiterate, is to create a knowledge base within the stake adult group of how to handle yourself in the backcountry and how to bring youth safely into the backcountry. So to that end, a lot of repeat leaders from last year, a lot of repeat leaders from lots of years. So we're trying to kind of spread that knowledge around, pass it on to other leaders so that, next year, the year after. What I'm hoping for all of you young men is that when you guys are 30 years old and move back into this area and are working with the Young Men's Program, that you work on Basecamp, and you have Brother Spears here, Grandpa Spears will be putting together the Basecamp 2035 patch, and there'll be this whole series of historical patches and stickers that go all the way back. And I think you're in on the ground floor of something that to me is really exciting. So, other questions? You have a question?
No, it's our third year, right?
Yeah.
We did, first year was virtual, last year was in person. We did 3 trips last year. We think we're going to do maybe 4 this year, right?
Depending on,
So see how many we get registered. We're just super excited. We think this is life-changing, game-changing.
I wanted to just share one kind of personal moment of just being in the backcountry as you young men think about if you have, first of all, who has been before backpacking? This is a great experience. Now, who's never been backpacking? Couple. So I think one of the joys that all the adults have is introducing you guys to the backcountry in a safe way, and one that kind of pushes you a little bit. And again, shows you what we think are just some of the most exciting routes in the Sierra Nevada, because there's some really spectacular ones. I just want to maybe anything else to add? Again, you guys, Dave, Greg, anything else to add? Gary? No? Okay. Okay. I'll just kind of maybe just close with my I'll share my testimony about this experience. I was maybe 16 and just remember, I never read the Book of Mormon. Yeah, I come from a wonderful family, but not, I'd say, a highly spiritual family. And I remember being in the Olympic Peninsula in Washington, the state of Washington, with our young men's group. And we were backpacking, not very far, but we were backpacking. And this one day, our leader put us in these little spots, these little private spots for some what was called solo time. And we sat there for, the idea was you sit there for 45 minutes or so. And we had a copy of the Book of Mormon with us, which I'd never read. And we just sat there, and it was just experience what it would be like to be by yourself in God's creation, and think about kind of what was going on in your life. And I had just finished that year in choir singing a song. I won't sing it for you, but the first verse is "The heavens declare the glory of God," which is from Psalms 19. And I have it, I've always had that marked in my scriptures, and we're teaching the Old Testament this year. So I've thought a lot about that verse. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. And then another great scripture is Alma 30 that says, all things denote there is a God, yea, even the earth and all things that are upon the face of it, yea, in its motion, yea, and also all the planets which move in their regular form do witness that there is a supreme creator. When I was by myself as a 16-year-old, I read Moroni chapter 7, just happened to turn to it. And it turned out to be one of the most beautiful teachings about charity, faith, hope, and love. And it just really moved me. And I just felt something I never felt before in my life. And then we had a testimony meeting after, and all my friends were getting up, sharing their testimonies. And I remember getting up saying, I don't have a testimony because I don't really know what that is. But I will say that while I was reading from the Book of Mormon, just this last half an hour, I really felt something special that moved me and made me want to be a better person, made me want to be more like, made me want to, I guess, pursue that path more. And it changed my life. And the people I was with changed my life. And I think ever since then, I've really felt this real bond with the wilderness. And so it's my prayer that each of you young men will look at this program. I hope it works for you and your families. I know you have lots of competing interests. And if it doesn't work this year, I hope it works next year for you. We're committed to making it fun and safe and spiritual. I love, again, Soren, you said you bring your A game, we'll bring our A game. And my testimony is that if you go out and kind of test these waters, that you will feel your Heavenly Father touch you and kind of connect with you in a way that perhaps you've never felt before. And that guidance from God, the Creator, as you sit in His wilderness and His creations, can be something that stays with you for the rest of your lives, and it can be an anchor to you. That's my prayer, and it's been my experience that that's true, and I share that with in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. With that, do you want to close us with prayer?